It is not the first. It will not be the last time that we talk about Washington dysfunction.
Yeah.
Why does any of that conversation in the last 8 minutes matter to anyone in this market right now?
Well, parts of it, I think, do matter. The trade parts of it really do matter for stocks because they could ultimately impact the earnings outlook for equities. And certainly, broadly, equities have traded somewhat on improving earnings prospects this year. That's helped elevate the market in the face of a lot of turmoil in the bond market, continued tightening from the Federal Reserve. Nonetheless, earnings are expected to grow about 18% this year. If trade policies continue to move in the direction of protectionism and protectionism at large, if they continue to potentially signal maybe some margin constraints for companies, if the dollar changes direction in one way or the other vastly, those are things that can really impact the earnings outlook, which I think are important things to watch. Now, the rest of it is really tough to price. And I think generally just contributes to an environment in which volatility is a little bit higher. But broadly, you want to be on the lookout for anything that impacts earnings.
John, bottom line, I mean, we don't know what the counterfactual would be. Things might have been even better if we didn't have this kind of dysfunction. But the bottom line is we've had decades and decades of this in Washington, D.C., and the economy has been fine and markets have been fine. As you identify event risk, Gina pointing out trade could be an issue. Special Counsel Robert Mueller, if that headline crossed the Bloomberg, I'm trying to understand the reaction function of investors and the longevity of that reaction. What would it be?
I think the key to that is in your question is longevity. I think the longevity in terms of the impact would be very short. This market tends to look at where fundamentals are and looks to what could create deterioration of fundamentals. The thought is that, from our perspective, is that the Trump administration certainly has its problems, but the problems that really matter are those that could impact trade, that could impact our relationship with our allies, but related to the Mueller investigation. At this point, we really don't think it carries market impact. It makes it intraday. It'll give something for the traders to work with that should make them happy, maybe generate a little bit of volatility. But those who would bank on it, we think, might be disappointed in terms of.
George, is there anything that you could identify that could mean a deterioration in the fundamentals that John points out?
Yeah, I think we have to go back to the level of rates and just kind of what's going on more globally. I think these are all domestic noise, what you guys are characterizing. We've kind of grown numb to it, but the stakes are going up too. So, I mean, I am not so clear that if we got that headline that you're referring to, that the markets would just kind of not skip a beat. I mean, I think the markets will come under some pressure. They're almost looking for an excuse for another vol event and kind of really see, like, where is there stability.